Hey everybody, this is Steve. What you're about to see are 4 journal entries that I made over the past several weeks regarding things like COVID and music and other random emotional and challenges, things going on. Any future videos in this series will only show up on Patreon, so if you want to check those out, they'll be for Patreon subscribers. If you go to patreon.com/StephenHartmanMusic and subscribe, you'll be helping me to figure out what to do for projects. Right now I'm doing the ABCs of music, and for that to continue, I need people to know they want to see it. So if you subscribe, I'll continue that series. I'm also looking at continuing the technical tutorials, and redoing some lesson projects and everything like that. So if you want to see that, it's $3.50 a month. Easy peasy. If you don't like what I'm doing, if you don't like what you're getting there, because it's exclusive content you get there, you can unsubscribe. Now, any of that money that you are putting towards that, I'm going to be investing in ways to improve what you see and what you hear. Things like sound panels, things like better microphones. So if you want the project to continue, head over to patreon.com/StephenHartmanMusic. Hope you enjoy these little videos and look into what I do. Okay, well, here's a journal entry of what's going on with lessons. So I promised y'all I'd have an update on that. So we're at mid-May. So it's a long weekend coming up. It's the Friday before the long weekend. And I figured I'd give you all an update. So, starting in June, I'm going to be putting out the information of summer workshops and summer lessons. I'll be doing that to deal with the COVID situation, to deal with social distancing. I'll be doing one-on-one lessons in my backyard. It can actually be a few more because of that. I have this space, we can space out nicely. But we'll be doing them here in the backyard. If weather's having issues, then we'll go into my garage because there's a lot of space in there. That'll be for guitar, ukulele, some percussion, things like that. And then it'll be like $100 for 5 lessons that you use in either July or August, because I'll be starting this first phase in July, and then going into fall will be phase 2 of this whole figuring out what I'm doing. So the summer lessons are essentially just one-on-one, beginner, or group lessons to kind of, not big groups, but just smaller groups, because again, we have to stay that distance apart, to just learn some basic chording, basic rhythmic patterns, pretty much how to use your instrument. And the only requirement is you use up your 5 lessons before the end of August, or else that's gone. But essentially you're getting 1 lesson free. I'm going to be charging $25 a lesson once I get into the computer, whatever. For half hour I'll be charging $25, but for the summer it'll be $100 for 5. So 4 plus 1, yay. And you can find information about that on my website, StephenHartmanMusic.com/lessons, where I have frequently asked questions there for that. And as I get into June, there'll probably be more information on phase 2. And I figured I would do phases since the COVID returning thing is phases. Otherwise, you can check out my Facebook for updates or YouTube for updates, because I'll probably have more of these videos popping up there. You can support me on Patreon, because that's where a lot of my ideas are coming from. And on there, if you subscribe there, you'll be able to see early access and previews to some videos. You'll also get content that might not even show up, because they're just little clips that I'm throwing up there that I figure are kind of cool. So, yeah, that's all for today. Again, that means in June, if you're looking at wanting to try some lessons with me, that's going to be the time I'll start signing people up. And then we'd start doing the actual lessons in July. Yeah. That's it for today. Talk to you next time. There. All right, figured I'd give you all a brief journal update on what's going on with lessons. So last week we talked about the phase 1. Now I finished up the advertising for that today, whatever. Still gonna finalize a few things with that, I think, but the idea is summer lessons. Then phase 2, we'll look at one-on-one lessons online and in person. And then phase 3, I'm looking at ensemble work. So things like we'd lead our lessons to do group sessions and things like that. The biggest thing I want to talk about right now is the health and safety of this all. With the COVID thing, we have to be really careful about being healthy. That's the main thing. And so if you're at all sick, we can flick that switch to be like, okay, you come to your lesson, but if you find you're getting sick beforehand or something, don't come, we'll flick the switch and go online. Use your iPad, use your laptop, whatever. because we have to be careful with that. We don't want to spread this, because you give it to me, then I'd give it to everyone else. So if I get sick, we have to flip the switch and everything goes online until, it'd be a few weeks before we could go back to normal. So that's the one thing I think of. The other thing is the safety of it. Now, usually when I'm in a studio, like when I was at the music store here in Martha's, I'd have a window. And people could look in and make sure everything's going okay, things aren't on fire. But if you're a person who knows me, I like my personal space. I'm a person who, even before this COVID thing, I was washing my hands all the time. And I like, 6 feet, give me like 20 feet for some people. I try to keep a personal bubble, but there's always that concern of when it's one-on-one, in person, the safety there. And so there are some considerations that I'm looking at where the parent has to be in earshot at least. So say I'm sitting here in my studio area, they would at least have to be in the waiting area. The parent would have to be there. They'd be drinking coffee or whatever. Usually at Martha's, the parent would be there anyway, but that would be a safety condition. Otherwise, the lesson wouldn't go on. The parent would kind of have to be there, I think. Otherwise, I'd have to consider, and this I'd have to discuss with parents of the students, having a camera, like a security camera of some sort, just to make sure, like if I get accused of something, I have to be safe. So these are things I'm considering with health and safety. They'll be on the website eventually. But, I want this to be a safe, fun environment. And I hope I can be a trustworthy person for these students. And when they come into this space, that they feel safe. I don't want to be a bully. I don't want to be anything like that. I want this to be a fun, safe space and a place for people to learn music. So, phase 1, I have the announcement coming out June 1st. I'll probably release it. Again, the ad is done. I just have to finalize a few things with it. And it'll show up on Facebook in a bit. Yeah. So that's all for the update right now with lessons. So we're looking at July and August, phase 1. September and ongoing will be private one-on-one lessons. And then looking at ensemble work and things like that for phase 3, when we can have, bigger groups. And if anyone has any questions, they can always, get in touch with me on my website, email, all that stuff. So, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. And I'm just realizing I got my hair cut, and it's like, if you saw me before, my hair is about that much longer. So, yeah, see you next time. So this is like a third entry or something. I'm talking to you from my garage, and my garage is where I might be teaching some stuff this summer. That's my vehicle. You might see it around places. It's my gear hauler. It's what I throw my bass in and everything. Anyhow, this might be the space we have to do some lessons in this summer for social distancing, be able to open the door, and then I could be way over here, like closer to the cameras, which is against the one wall. The student could be way back there if we have weather issues. Otherwise, it might be out on my porch, like I said in the first one. Talking about health and safety, and so I've been doing a lot of updates this past week on my website. I put some health and safety guidelines which might change over time. Things like in the fall, I might be insisting on people wearing masks if I'm teaching from inside because it's too cold to be outside. Vocal training might have to be a different story because you're singing, but again, these are all health issues that I have to look. I'll be watching the Alberta Health thing. What else is going on? Oh yeah, and I've been working on my YouTube channel trying to make things a little cleaner. Trying to figure out tags and SEO, like search engine optimization things, and trying to get things pumped up there. I'm doing the live stream still. I'm on the 5th one, will be tomorrow with Dan Christensen. And then, so I'll have 2 drummers in a row, and then I'll have some big band people coming up, things like that, all these fun things. But yeah, so lessons are looking like, the ad comes out actually on Monday for that. And the finalizations on some updates on the website will be there too. I'm talking about lessons and the phase experience. Phase 1 is the summer thing. Phase 2 being the, what is phase 2? Phase 2 is just general private lessons in the fall, seeing how that goes. And if it's fine, phase 3 might be pretty quick after that because I do want to look at doing ensemble work. And part of this whole thing too, is to get into, I'm curious about what the musical experience will be in the next little while. Because in the schools, how are they going to teach choral? How are they going to teach band? And I'm just curious about that because in band I remember being like really tight to the person beside you. You'd have like, you wouldn't be even a foot away from person. And I know band instruments aren't as bad because the spit's going in the instrument, but choral's gonna be a lot more difficult. There's spit everywhere. There's spit everywhere though. You look at, trombones or trumpets, brass instruments, and all the instruments with their spit valves. It's gross. So I'm gonna be trying to make this an overall like in the ad I talk about all the instruments I teach, but it might be one of those things where we focus on an instrument, but it'll be in general like a more of a, you learn the instrument, but with focusing on music as a general thing, appreciation, all that, but using that instrument you're learning. So if it's guitar, we learn how to use guitar to maybe do some compositions, maybe to write down melodies, things like that. If it's bass, same thing. Drums are a little more difficult, but it's rhythmic. We might learn how to dance things. Ringo's annoyed that I am here. I'll show you Ringo quick. There's Ringo, he's sad. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. And so the ad comes out next week, and I'll keep these updates going for people if they're watching them wherever. I will be releasing the first set now on YouTube, but all of these journal entries, probably a monthly, I'll just release the whole set of the previous. So once I do like 4, then I'll put them all available on YouTube for public consumption. But then as it goes on, you'll have to sign up for Patreon. So, you know, after the next one, I'm still determining that, but you might have to sign up if you want to see more of these. Because I want to be a little more down to earth on these too. The first 2 were kind of like, but this one I talk about one thing. I've had a rough week in the sense of knowing, like, trying to push for this, and I know I still have like another month before I can actually start teaching again, which is kind of hard. It's already been like 2 months, and now I can barely advertise, and and I don't know how it's going to go after that, so I'm going to need all the support I can get. So I hate being one of those people who like, comment, subscribe, all those things. So I'm going to be saying that a lot, and I don't like to. I don't want to beg, but that's kind of how I feel I'm going to have to be for a while. So sorry. But yeah, it's been rough because I still know I have I'm going to advertise, but it doesn't mean I can teach yet. I won't be teaching to adhere to my contract. I'm going to be teaching till the end of June. Or not teaching, I'm going to be keeping to that Martha's thing until the end of June, and then I can start teaching. I'll be teaching in July, August for the summer thing. And then late July, I'll probably advertise season or phase 2. But all these thoughts in my head make it get a little overwhelming, and I try to pull back from that, like reading all the stories, reading all the politics, reading all the disease things, and trying to make sense of them. It gets a little tiring, and I feel like I have to wear happiness and masks and all that, like when I'm live streaming and stuff. Even when I was teaching lessons, it was like one of those things where some days it was a little rougher than others. So I'm going to be doing stuff like this in the journal entries from now on, where I'm just being a little more real. And so if people want to see that, they can go on the Patreon. But yeah, so I want to say, like, as much as I want to try to be there for people, but when I'm feeling like this, I can't. It's hard for me to reach out. And I've had like a few I would say out of like the whole time since the lessons shut down, there's been less time that I've actually felt like I can reach out to people because of just how I feel about everything. Like it feels like it's been feeling like a few months of just having no sense of direction because I can't do anything, blocked into the contract and then not knowing what the future looks like, essentially. So I'm going to keep this up though, just short. I don't know what short means, but I'll be just kind of unedited journals. So you can check those out if you subscribe on Patreon. And that'll start after next video, most likely. But I'll probably talk a little bit more about how Patreon works because I don't know if many people know what that even is. So yeah, so these will be released, but then after the next few, they'll be on Patreon. So you'll have to subscribe there. Yep. And I hope everyone's staying safe. As much as I can't reach out, I wish I could. Yeah. And I don't mean to and this is me, I'm a social recluse. I'm somebody who thinks this is good, but it isn't. I don't like being away from people, but at the same time I do, but I don't. I need to recharge my batteries. And so I feel that sometimes people might think I'm a snob or whatever, but I'm not. I want to be friendly to people. I want to be nice, but I just don't know how to do it sometimes. So I hope people, as much as I want to reach out to people, I hope people will reach out to me too, because I can use messages sometimes. Just saying. But it might not just be me either. There might be other people who need them. And some people only have so much energy to provide too, so don't expect somebody to message you. But at the same time, if you have that energy in you, sometimes it's not a bad idea to just Facebook, text. If you have the contact information, just send something. to engage with them and be willing to take it further. Don't just like, how's it going? Make it like, if you think they're doing bad or poorly or something's going on, take it to a phone call, take it to the next level, because they might need your help. And that's the staying safe part. We want people healthy here, healthy with their bodies and everything. So, yeah, again, everyone, I hope everyone stays safe. As I normally say, drink your water, go outside. It's a little gonna rain or windy, whatever right now. Drink coffee. I actually, just before this, I autopiloted and made some coffee, so I'm gonna go drink that now. And what's the other thing? Stay safe and healthy. Drink water. There's another thing I say. I can't remember. Listen to music. That's a big thing too. I signed up for Spotify, and because I hadn't done that yet, and I signed up for they had a free 3-month thing. So I signed up for that, and I'm playing it's doing all rockabilly, Carl Perkins, Gene Vincent and stuff. It's great. It's just bouncy, jammy stuff. But listen to music. It helps your brain. It makes you feel better. So I'll talk to you next time, and check out my other videos. And if you have suggestions, if you've seen this and you have suggestions, you want oh, I want another technical tutorial, or could you do this song? I'll try to do some songs, but we'll go from there. Stream tomorrow, and then might be getting together with a couple guys I jammed before, doing some rockabilly stuff with Stephen Olson, who might be on this live stream eventually too. So yeah, see y'all. All right, so it's another Friday, and I'm going to talk a bit more about what's coming up and what's going on. So yeah, this whole series started out just talking about advertising, but because I needed to think about what was going to go on for the summer. But what does the future hold now? So the advertisement went out Monday, with the intention to teach for the summer. Looking into the fall for teaching more. My dog's trying to lick me. He's right here because he's a sad boy. Trying to think of what's next, and I guess going forward, where do I go from here at this point? Because this is a whole idea of, if I'm going private, it has to work. It has to be viable, right? And so there's things like looking at online content. Part of that I'm gonna need your help with, because financial viability of it, right? Some of the stuff I put a lot of hours into, and it's for nothing. It's free, absolutely free for you guys. And if you guys wanna help, donate to things. I'm going to talk about Patreon in this little journal entry quick. But for the most part, hopefully lessons work out. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking other directions of things. And so I won't actually know what that means until I get into the fall, looking at numbers and see how many people actually sign up. But yeah, because summer, I didn't really anticipate there'd be crazy signups. There's people who drive like crazy out here. And I'm not sure of numbers based on pandemic things and stuff like that. But we'll go from there and see what happens with everything I do. We're doing some work here in this space. I'm actually sitting in the studio area. I set up drums there. Actually, I set up a TV screen now. It's mounted on the wall. If I need to ever show a student something, I'm actually gonna have it potentially set up to be an overhead for the drums. If I'm teaching, they can look up there really quick. They need kind of an over the head shot of what I'm doing. So I mounted the screen to the wall today, and then I might throw a computer box, or I have a laptop there that I might run for that kind of camera work. So I'm gonna be doing that, and then I have pretty much that side. I have my online stuff over there. So if I'm doing drums or whatever, I have cameras over there that I can run the online stuff. And then guitar will be kind of more like behind this camera. There's a piano, but there's amps and stuff over here, and the setup's here. I'm just hoping it works out. Again, I'll need all the help I can get in the sense of shares and likes and whatever that means. So I want to talk about Patreon quick and how that can help me and help if you're interested in the content I do, which means things like live streams. So I've been doing the live streams. This one will be the 6th one I've done so far, and I'd like to keep it up weekly, and that's one of the easier things to do. I have the setup, I have the gear already. It's more just, it takes a bit of time to prep and things like that. So that one's one of the easier ones though, because essentially most things are improvised with it. There's no script. I send out some questions, and hopefully the guest knows whether we're going to talk about it. Sometimes the discussions are easy peasy, They have all been pretty easy peasy actually for now. I just don't want to go in completely randomly. I want to have something there. So, but it's still one of the easier things to do. I think I have an idea of what I want to do with the YouTubes. But that's gonna, like, with lessons, I'd like to start thinking about doing some more lesson stuff with that. Some of those little short videos, I'm not sure yet. Like looking at like a dynamics video and tempo videos and things like that. But then technical tutorials, I'd like to do, there's one or two I still in my head, but they're kind of, I want to focus more on the music thing. So there's a few more songs I'm looking into doing some of those multi-videos, but again, I don't want to become too much for that. So I'm trying to determine where I go with that. But one of those multi-videos, I mean, I didn't put much effort in the last one. The Wild Thing isn't that crazy of a song. But they can take a decent amount of time because you're filming each individual video and then putting them into one. And I'm not doing any crazy edits. I'm just putting each video frame. I could do like, oh, this instrument's doing its thing, put it right up front. I'm not doing crazy edits on that just because it does take a lot of time. But if it's something people would want, sure. But that's, okay, again, the Patreon thing. So Patreon is a platform for creators to essentially, you know, I guess ask for tips for what they do, like a busker. You can sign up for a set amount. Every creator makes their own, like artist or content creator makes their own tier list. So my tier list is really simple. It's just one tier for now. The cost of like a coffee from Starbucks, $3.50 a month. And I have to kind of make that worth it for you too. So this isn't like you view my content, I get paid. That's not what it is. This is if you want to help me with my content. So if you want to see more content, you can help with Patreon, and then that'll push me and drive me to keep making stuff for people who want to see it. And I want to keep it a low price point so it isn't crazy, and if people feel it's not worth it, then they can cancel the subscription because it's a monthly fee. It's $3.50. You can get rid of it. It's easy peasy. And what I have on there so far, I've been putting these on here earlier, but this will be the last one I actually put on Patreon that's going to go to YouTube. So this will be one part of a compilation now that I'll put on YouTube for people to watch, but this is the last one. All the rest of these will be strictly on Patreon if they want to see updates. If you guys want to see updates, that's where it'll be. I'm putting videos and clips that didn't quite make it in some of the videos I've done. Things like there's a mixer one night where I talk about how I use my mixer, and audio interface. I don't know if I put that one up. There's one I did, Eric Olson and I, who do some busking stuff. We were going to do bare necessities, and I put up my side of things where I really messed up some of the rhythmic stuff, and I just threw that up there. I threw the audio backing for one of the tracks I did pre-editing. So there's things like that up there, and I'm going to throw content up. That's just free stuff too. But that's the benefit of being part of that too, is you get to see stuff maybe behind the scenes. I want to do another video I'm going to do actually is looking at how I do some of the stuff. How do I set up my live stream? What do I use for that? How do I do one of those multi-videos? Like what am I doing behind the scenes to actually set that up for me? So maybe some people watching can understand what I do. And so that's what Patreon can do. And it's essentially, the website is for each, this chair's squeaky. It's up to each creator to set their website up within Patreon how they want it. If they want to charge $15 a month, if they charge $20, they can. Some people have multiple tiers, like baseline tier where you get some stuff. Next one you get more stuff. Next one you get more stuff. I'm just keeping it simple, simple small tier, price of a coffee, and you can go on the website. I have a link somewhere. I'll maybe put it, if this is part of the YouTube video compilation, I'll put it in the description there. But you can go there. You can sign up, you can subscribe, and help me out with some of that content if you want to see more. That's the big thing with it. And it's something I've been trying to figure out how to do that and what I want to put there. It's still a work in progress. There's going to be changes probably. Yeah, I'm saying I'm a lot and thinking a lot, but that's what these journals are. I'm not going to edit this. This is like simply, I put there. I might chop the beginning and end if I'm like touching buttons on the camera or whatever, but these aren't edited. That's the big thing about these journals. I want them to be, they're kind of like the live streams that I was doing before I brought on guests, where I just talk about random things in my life. But I'll keep it a weekly thing. So if you go on Patreon, you can subscribe and see these things, what I'm talking about, what's happened in the past week. Because I think as I get closer to the fall, things are going to be changing quite a bit. So if you subscribe, and here's the thing, if I stop doing it, I'm going to tell you, don't subscribe to me. I'll tell you that. I'll be like, no, stop subscribing, because I don't want people to be, I want people to feel that there's value that I'm giving them. And so I'm giving you the stuff on YouTube like whenever I come out. And maybe that's the thing with Patreon too. If for some reason I start getting a bunch of people, I'll feel like, oh, people want to see my content. Okay, then here we go. Like, I'll roll out, okay, on Wednesdays I'll throw out a new song. Maybe we'll do something like that. Mondays I'll throw out a tutorial. Fridays on Patreon strictly, I'll throw up these journals and I'll keep a steady schedule. Right now it's pretty much the only scheduled thing are those live streams. Yeah, and I guess I encourage people to check out my pages and YouTubes and all those things. And if they like it, go to Patreon, subscribe. That's all. Because it'll help me help you and help us, if you're a Patreon too. I'll be asking you guys, what do you want? Like, what do you want to see from me? What do you want to know from me? Some people don't know me that well, I don't think, because I keep I'm shy, as much as people might not know that, and I'm also socially awkward. Social anxiety and all those things, but I'm also an open book. I'm willing to answer questions if people have them. So, that being said, I hope everyone stays safe. I'm gonna cut this off here, and again, this is the last one. This is the end of the compilation of the YouTube one too, so if you're seeing this on YouTube, this is the end of the compilation. You'll have to go to Patreon next week to see the next one that'll be released on Friday. And again, I record these on Fridays after, like today I just got back from running, walking with my dog, so, you know, a little crazy. But I do these after I've done like most of my work for the day and just give a reflection for myself too. But also, there he goes. Yeah, just give an update for everyone. So it's nice to rent a really bright light and a camera. So again, stay safe, and hope you're getting all your social quirks out there. People are out and about. So if you do see this, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to go and talk or reach out to someone you wouldn't normally reach out to. So what I mean by that is, if you have Facebook friends, if there's one person you're like, oh, I should see how they're doing, do it. Just do it. That's your challenge. Go do it. Just like message person, how are you doing? And try to engage in conversation with them. There you go. Social, because they might be having a struggle too. So there you go. That's your mission. Stay safe. I'll talk to you next time. Yeah. Now this project was a bit more raw and unedited. A lot of these videos I didn't want to edit just because I want them to be me. If you want to see more of these videos, you can subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/StephenHartmanMusic, and you'll get access to future journal entries like this, and some other exclusive clips that you aren't seeing in some of my YouTube or live streams. If you want to support the YouTube and live stream stuff, then subscribe, because it'll help me know that people like it, enjoy it, want to see more, and want to see it progress and be bigger and all those things. It's $3.50 a month. If you don't like what I'm doing, then unsubscribe. Easy peasy. I hope you all stay safe and talk to you next time.